Justice is served. Karma is real, and it's a Instant justice was served outside of California Denny's on Wednesday when an alleged robber shot himself in the head as he was run over by his victim's car. The suspect made his move when 4 unsuspecting people left the restaurant at around 2:45 a.m. One of the victims ran back into the Denny's and told staff to call the cops. This surveillance footage captures the scene inside as terrified diners run for cover, fearing the gunman would target them next. The robber stumbled and ran toward the getaway car, only for his accomplices to speed off without him. But things were about to get a whole lot worse for the suspect as the quick-thinking driver of the victim's car homed in on his target. The car knocked the robber into the air, and somehow he accidentally shot himself in the head at the same time. The alleged robber was taken to the hospital where he was in critical but stable condition. A handgun was found at the scene. 3 of the 4 victims later returned to the restaurant and gave statements to the cops. The investigation is ongoing.
Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews.
Revenge is a dish best served cold.
Bakersfield girl serves up revenge-filled cupcakes. A Bakersfield, California girl literally gave her tormentors their just desserts last week after she got fed up with their bullying and decided to serve them some cupcakes with a special homemade filling. The girl attends Bakersfield Centennial High as a 10th grader and was having a few issues with some bullies. When she felt that she had enough, she decided that they all needed to try a new recipe she had been working on. One that called for a few special ingredients. Apparently she ran out of 1 or 2 important things though. But I guess it was all good since she could readily substitute a couple of homegrown secret flavor enhancements. Needless to say, there were a few mild reactions to the richness of that recipe. Okay, we'll admit that no one actually spontaneously combusted after eating the tainted sweets, but we do know at least one of them had to stay home from school after having an adverse reaction. The Bakersfield Police Department is treating this as a simple school prank, and the school has now banned all outside food. No one was charged in the incident.
Her son was a police officer. The Taliban killed him. She decided to get revenge. A report from Afghanistan claims a mother and her family took out more than 25 Taliban insurgents after her son, a police officer guarding a checkpoint, was ambushed and killed. After finding the body of her son, the distraught mother, identified as Reza Gul, decided she would man the checkpoint in her son's stead. Reza Gul returned to her house, grabbed a weapon, and committed herself to killing as many of her son's killers as she could. Soon, Reza Gul was joined by her daughter, young son, and husband, and this brave family took up positions and girded themselves for battle. As the militants returned, they were met with a hail of gunfire in a battle that lasted several hours. The mother, father, and elder sister all shot and killed Taliban fighters while the young son reloaded the guns. At the end of the day, the family says they mowed down 25 Taliban and vowed to do so again should they ever return. This is said to be a picture of some of the family members involved in the battle, a family the Taliban may be wishing they'd never messed with.
This turtle is old-fashioned. It's an eye for an eye, or roughly. China's open-mindedness toward what constitutes food has given the world both dumplings and deer penis stew. On the menu today, however, is a turtle, or maybe a tortoise for some of you. Anyhow, this large shelled reptile of the order Testudines, or Chinoli, according to some. God damn it, science people, just pick something. Anyway, the turtle just got hacked in half by this turtle hacker in China somewhere, and the thing used its last seconds of life to try and exact at least some figurative eye for an eye justice. In the video posted to LiveLeak, the head end of the half-master Uguay chomps down on the hacker's eyebrow, causing what appears to be considerable pain. But he did kind of hold a chopped-in-half turtle head up to his eye, so, karma? Is eating a turtle any worse than eating a pig? Who knows? But the hacking seems gratuitous, and we have this nagging sensation that creature might be on some endangered list. Are we wrong? Is that a normal way to slaughter such a reptile?
Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews.
A young woman gets revenge on her former tormentor. Being a kid is tough. Being a slightly larger kid is even tougher. However, a 21-year-old Oxford student recently gave her former bully a taste of his own medicine in the best way possible, by standing him up on a date. Louisa Manning was bullied throughout secondary school. They called her Man Beast and made fun of her weight and body hair. After months of verbal abuse, Manning developed an eating disorder, anxiety, and her self-esteem was crushed. Today, she's a self-confident young woman. Last Friday, Manning was taken aback when she bumped into one of her ex-tormentors at the Oxford Yule Ball, and he asked her out on a date. Recognizing what a perfect opportunity this was, Manning made plans. She arrived at the restaurant early and handed a letter to a waiter with instructions to give it to the guy when he turned up. The letter reminded the boy she was the man beast from 10 years ago, and Manning promptly taught him a lesson by never showing up. She then uploaded the letter and a picture of her 12-year-old self onto Facebook, where it's been shared 600 times and scored 15,000 likes. According to Manning, the boy later apologized, but for Manning, quote, "It's 10 years too late, but it's still an apology and it's still amazing I got one." Remember, kids, karma's a bitch.
Pet Chow Chow dies at salon. Owner hulks out and smashes. In Taiwan, the windows of a popular pet salon franchise were all smashed out in the middle of the night. The reason behind the vandalism? Police suspect that a local gang leader has smashed all the windows in retribution after the death of his pet Chow Chow. An employee working at one of the pet stores reported a customer had made death threats against her after the man's pet Chow Chow had died during a bath. The woman explained that the dog was getting on in his years and his owner was a regular customer. It was just bad luck that the Chow Chow died at the salon. 2 separate investigations have been launched by police, one into the vandalism of the franchise and another into the death of the dog as possible animal abuse.